Welcome back, everybody. So we're doing another video today on gaming, and we're going to be covering the new footage that was put out today by Square Enix. So we're talking about the new footage for Final Fantasy 16. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. So we're going to be reacting a little bit to the GameSpot hands-on gameplay. So let's just get right into it.
For more than a decade, Final Fantasy has been gradually
So I'm pretty sure that's
turn-based RPG
the big boy
and embracing a more
Ifrit.
action-oriented direction.
Yep,
It was only a
there it
matter
is.
of time before that focus on action took precedence over the role-playing elements. And it appears that Final Fantasy XVI is finally the moment the ratio has flipped. As a longtime fan of the traditional Final Fantasy games, I wasn't quite sure what to think of this development. The turn-based classics are still some of my favorite gaming experiences of all time.
So I haven't actually watched
hands-on with the game,
any of the I haven't even actually watched the trailer,
or at least this entry in it.
So this is actually my first experience with the new Final Fantasy game.
Action franchise now, at least it's shaping up to be a damn good one. This isn't to say the game lacks fantastical elements like mythical beasts and magic spells, but
it does look a lot
in action rather than
more action oriented.
In the fictional high fantasy world of Valisthea, an extremely small number of mortals are innately gifted as dominants, hosts for supernatural icons, which longtime Final Fantasy fans will recognize as summoned creatures. Icons are essentially weapons of mass destruction.
So I'm noticing the clothing is a little bit, actually a lot less fantastical.
The dominants are respected, feared, and sometimes even exploited by their respective nations, as the implied threat of the icons keeps.
But they are the male characters, so that's...
The protagonist Clive's brother, Joshua, was given a place of honor as the dominant of Phoenix.
Hopefully the mage characters will look a bit more
as an attack from an invading army, and a mysterious, previously unseen icon left his younger brother dead. My play session took place when Clive was in his 20s, obsessed with vengeance and throwing his lot in with revolutionaries who are looking to overthrow the social order. This segment of the story tightly focused on just three major
characters. Not gonna lie, even though Ifrit looks pretty cool, he does actually look for some reason a lot like an AI
this game
render.
Another Final Fantasy mainstay, who is both a freedom fighter for magical refugees and the dominant of Rama, the aspect of lightning. Their mission brought them to a castle guarded by Benedicta Harmon.
Remember I was talking about in the previous video how all modern day gaming has
Clive was also accompanied by his loyal and very good
lighting to
dog, Torgal, who acts as a consistent companion character in battle.
I'm not saying that it's anything bad, it's just something that you see everywhere. The color out of space.
If it seems like I'm focusing heavily on the story, it's because I find that aspect interesting right from the start. The best Final Fantasy stories use fantastical elements to say something about the human condition. And nation states, having entered an uneasy Cold War as each of them harbor their own personal living, breathing WMDs is a fascinating hook that feels relatable to real-life conflicts. The fact that some nations worship their dominance and others imprison them as living weapons speaks to the breadth of how we treat things we don't understand. On top of that,
oh come on, man! Don't tell me we're getting fucking social aware in these games now.
Which adds yet another wrinkle to every interaction. It's the interplay of all these disparate elements.
Are you going to enslave or are you going to liberate your idol and your son? Shut the frig up, man.
An engaging story wouldn't amount to much without a strong battle system to back it up. And on that front, I was more skeptical. In Final Fantasy XVI, you control one character, Clive Rosefield, and the entire story...
Oh, okay, so it's just a full-on action game at this point.
The singular focus on Clive as the sole protagonist, sometimes but not always flanked by AI-controlled companion characters, seemed to indicate a de-emphasis on juggling commands.
Yeah, so AI characters could
skill sets,
make or break your game.
Final Fantasy
if you
16
give
replaces
your
this level of
AI
strategic
teammates, like
intensity
if
with
the
a battle
programming for the
system
AI
that feels
in the
naturally
game is
action-based, but with
dog
the
crap
underpinnings of
horrible,
choice. As Clive
the
proceeds through
game
the story,
will
he picks
suck.
up abilities from the
Gameplay
different
is
icons he
king.
encounters. This doesn't make him their
Gameplay,
dominant, but it
story,
does mean
and
that
then
his fighting
graphics.
style will be imbued with magical flourishes that embody their unique traits. For the demo, he had blessings of Phoenix, Fire, Garuda, Wind, and Titan, Earth. You can swap between these on the fly and use their unique spell abilities to complement your
But I'm
array
noticing
of
they're also
melee
going
attacks.
more
Phoenix, for
for
example,
a
is
Souls-like
particularly
gameplay as
agile
well.
and able to close gaps, while Garuda is better for air juggles and reaching out with its harpy-like claws to grab enemies from afar. Titan feels very different from both of these, with heavy attacks that often require a brief charge to deliver their full impact. The combat system not only allows but demands
Very,
that you
very
sweep between
fast
these abilities,
attacks.
since each of them has its own cooldown that will be in various states of recharging while you
So I
swap
wonder if
to
you're gonna have to
another.
keep on
But the
pressing
cooldowns
the
were
buttons
generous.
to keep on
You're clearly intended to
registering
use the
all those
full
attacks,
suite
or
of
you
moves
just keep
quickly and
your
to
finger
swap
on one
between them
button
constantly.
and it
At
does like
first,
20
I found
attacks
swapping
as long as you
between
keep
these
on pressing it.
disorienting, especially when I would tap a Titan ability, having forgotten it requires a charged button hold instead. But after only a couple of hours,
I like the female
it felt
character. She
much
looks
more
pretty cool.
natural, and I could see room for a great deal of flexibility in the system.
By the way, guys, my mom has been
Each of the icon abilities,
asking
along with Clive's
for a
standard
favor.
melee attacks,
If you guys
has
could
its
like
own
the
upgrade
video
tree. I explored the tree and
and
upgraded a
subscribe,
few
she would
moves,
definitely
unlocking new
appreciate it.
combat abilities
Mother's Day
and
is coming up
enhancing the strength of some of
in
my
a few
favorite
moments.
moves. Choosing which icons to equip and how to upgrade them looks as if
I
it will
honestly,
provide ample strategic
I
decision
freaking
making in the
hate
moments between battles. If anything,
this
I was spoiled
Destiny
for choice,
map, this
as the
Destiny
upgrade
menu
options
map
looked like
that we see
equally
in every
exciting
freaking
and
game now.
fun
It's
ways to
even
mix
in
up my arsenal
Hogwarts
of moves.
Legacy.
These choices then pay off with white knuckle
Interesting game
combat
so far.
when you're
Interesting
in the
game.
thick of a fight. Square Enix boasts that it brought on Devil May Cry veteran Ryota Suzuki as its battle designer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was feeling a little bit
magical ranged
Devil May Cry
certainly felt
vibes
reminiscent of
from
Dante
the
and
game,
Nero.
and
The game
well,
that
there we go.
most came to
That's
mind when I
why
played, though,
we
was
see
another action franchise, God of War.
DMC
That's because the melee battles are punctuated by icon
flavoring.
battles, uniquely built action set pieces that feel markedly different than the standard battles and are particularly exciting. While traversing the castle, I came
So of course, every single game has QT,
an enjoyably
quick time events,
scenery-chewing
QTEs,
antagonist with dramatic flair.
not to be
Benedicta
mistaken
first called on the
with
aspect of Garuda to
QTs.
a limited degree, turning into a superpowered demi-human version of herself with wings. Cid met her in kind, half transforming into Rama, resulting in a clash of superpowered beings that still looked roughly like their human characters, and still acting with their own human motivations. The ensuing battle involved fighting two other harpy-like creatures that she summoned and later referred to as her sisters, and then progressed to fighting her in half-icon form on a tower rooftop. It was a test of skill for all I had learned up to that point, while also tossing in cinematic story.
So I wonder, are we gonna have access to this demo, or if we pre-order, will we have access to a beta? Beta mail.
Was a real fist-pumping moment.
If you don't
for me,
subscribe,
which
you're a
doesn't
beta
a
male.
Feeling I often associate with this franchise. Her injuring and then tossing my canine pal aside while spitting a curse made me that much more determined to destroy her.
Beta
Of course,
mail.
this all led to the real set-piece moment. An icon-on-icon battle between
Beta
Ifrit
male
and Garuda.
active.
Like all icon battles, this was crafted to be its own distinct
Are you a
encounter,
simp, son?
pitting Ifrit's ability
Are you a
and brute
Simpson?
strength against Garuda's ability to control the battlefield with the wind. And it was an absolute blast. A kaiju battle come to life with all the dramatic underpinnings of the human story that had informed it. The uniqueness of the encounter meant that I was largely learning its mechanics on
So
the
it kind of
fly.
feels like
This didn't feel like
they're
it was
also
meant to be
throwing in
challenging
like
the
fighting
traditional
game
melee
elements.
combat. Instead, it was made to be a spectacle and something to reward all of the effort leading up to that point.
So I have a feeling some of these battles are going to last for like minutes on end. So the guy is transformed into Ifrit.
To the extent that
So
this
I also
new,
did a
more
reaction
action-heavy
to
focus might put on
the
longtime
Resident Evil
fans of the
4
series,
remake,
Square Enix has come up with a
but for
pretty
some reason, like
ingenious
even though it's the
variable
same video
difficulty
quality,
system. Final Fantasy
there's
16 has a story
huge
mode,
lag
but
whenever
unlike many
I try
games
to
that use that
record
name
the
for an easier
reaction. Like
difficulty
this is
level,
buttery
it
smooth. It's
instead
perfect so
simply
far.
turns on a couple of helpful assists. These assists are available whether you choose story mode or not, so turning them on simply makes them the default. But it's exactly how these assists are implemented that makes the system so smart. Instead of menu options, the assists are presented as a series of 5 special rings that grant different types of assistance. One of them simplifies combat so that simply pressing one button automatically controls your combos, for example, while another extends the window for a successful dodge. You can equip these rings in your 3 accessory slots, but that means you'll always have more rings than you have space to put them in. You'll have to choose which, if any, to use to make combat easier on you. This also presents an opportunity cost, as each slot taken up by one of the assist rings is
So it looks
one
like even though
fewer
you're
accessory
controlling
you can
one
use to customize
character,
Clive's other
the
abilities.
battle system
The whole
seems
system
to be a
seems
bit
thoughtful and elegant, letting you
more
still feel the thrill of
advanced,
combat while gently nudging you towards removing the
a
training
bit
wheels
harder.
as you get more comfortable. This new focus on action combat does come at a price though. Square Enix has already stated that Final Fantasy XVI doesn't use an open world structure, which may remove some of the expansive scope and awe of the traditional Final Fantasy game. My play session consisted of a fairly straightforward level design with only
Alright, so
brief
it sounds
side
like they
paths
just
to
said that the
discover some
game is a
treasures
lot more
and then
linear.
proceed along the main path. The producers noted that the full game has wider spaces, which should provide a sense of exploration, but I didn't experience them for myself.
So like
A
you're
narrower level
the
structure may
environments that you
just be the
play
nature
in
of this genre shift,
are a
as
lot
Final
bigger,
Fantasy XVI crosses the threshold into
but
full-fledged
they're all
action
on a
spectacle. Some
linear
aspects are bound to
path.
feel different than RPG fans have grown accustomed to. For this RPG fan, though,
I don't
the
really care.
change of pace is
I'm not a
welcome.
fan.
Who
I'm not
knows
a
what
big
the
fan
future
of
holds for Final
these
Fantasy,
open
but
world
I'm
games
convinced that
to
this is the
begin
right
with. That was
direction
one
for
of
this
the
entry in the franchise.
biggest
I
drawbacks
went
for
in
me
as a
for
doubter and
Elden
came out
Ring.
as a true believer, eager to experience the ride.
All right, so what do you guys think of the new Final Fantasy 16 coming out soon? I guess. So I've played every single Final Fantasy, so this will not be an exception. It looks different. It looks like a new take on it. Hopefully, they're not going to be going because we didn't really hear dialogue and things like this from the characters. I'm not sure if there's dialogue in the official trailer and stuff like that. But hopefully, we're not going to see a repeat of Square Enix trying to give us an Americanized Western feel game like they did with Unspoken or Outspoken. Horrible, horrible game. Like your protagonist makes or breaks your game, like your connection to the game. If your players hate the character they're playing, they're not going to stick around for the game. Just to for the compound how far this goes, I was recently playing Atomic Heart. If you guys saw the previous video, the protagonist is just as god awful as Frey is in Outspoken, and I've completely lost interest in playing the game past what I already did. Also, the fact that I have it on Game Pass, so I get it for free with my monthly payment, less drive to play. Right, so what do you guys think? Are you guys going to be playing this game? Do you guys want me to get this game and do some footage with it? So just give you guys an update. I have two different type of videos that I'm coming out with. One will be in the next couple of days. So I just got my hands on Hogwarts Legacy. I traded in Dead Space to get it. It took me a lot longer than expected to beat Dead Space because I was getting a lot of footage for my surprisingly successful scenic and death animation videos. So I got a whole bunch of those videos coming up as well. But regarding Hogwarts Legacy, I captured some first hour gameplay. I don't know if I'm going to upload it. It is in 4K 60 frames, uh, but I don't feel gameplay videos do well for my channel or channels in general. But I am also grabbing footage, scenic footage of walking around the Hogwarts Castle and the environments and things like this. So those I will definitely be uploading them as I get footage. I'm going to try to get enough footage to make at least a 15-minute videos. So stay tuned for those. If you guys enjoy the video, please do me a favor and drop a like, subscribe, and come back for more content. I don't know, maybe hitting those notification buttons might help out the channel more by suggesting my videos more often to you guys. Because I don't know if I've made it clear, but YouTube under Susan Wojcicki, I don't know if it's still ongoing with Neil, but they suggest my gaming videos and movie review videos to ASMR watchers. So the more you guys tune in, hopefully the more they correct their algorithm. I really don't freaking know what more to do apart from hiring an agency to promote my channel. So subscribe, comment, like, and come back for more videos. I appreciate you guys giving me a few minutes of your time. GiggaVega out.